The next stage of creating our game is something that's good to address early on. What tags do we need for our game and how are we going to manage them? Unity projects start out with some tags already made, but we're going to need a few more for our game. One of the most common uses of tags is to find references to game objects or their components. When thinking about tags that you need, it's often best to consider which scripts will need to reference others. For example, our game is going to have a game controller with some scripts on. Lots of other scripts in the game will need a reference to those scripts, so we'll need a game controller tag. This is one of the tags already provided by Unity. There are 5 tags we'll need which aren't there by default: alarm light, siren, directional light, fader, and enemy. These have already been added to your project. When you reference tags in code, they're written as strings and are not auto-completed. In order to minimize error, we're going to create a short script to store all of the tag strings so that we can reference them as variables instead. For convenience, we'll call this script simply tags. Select the scripts folder in the project panel and go to Create and choose C# script. Name the script tags. Double-click the icon to open for editing. Again, we're going to remove the default functions that Unity gives us. This script in fact won't use any functions. For each of the tags, we're going to store a public constant string variable. Here we're using the keyword const. Const means that the variable it is applied to cannot be changed and instead becomes known as a constant. Since the data cannot be changed, it is the same for every instance of the class, and so it is available through the class instead of through an instance of that class. This works in a similar way to using static functions like the mathf functions. To call, for example, lerp for floats, we use the class name mathf followed by .lerp. If we wanted to reference one of the strings that we store here, we simply need to type tags dot followed by the name of the constant, for example, tags.player. To complete the script, we're going to need a few more constants. As previously stated, we need to reference the alarm light, and we've given it the alarm light tag, so we'll make a constant for that. We've also seen that we'll be using the siren tag to reference the towers that play the alarm sound, so we'll make a constant for that. The game controller will be where we store the last known location of the player, when the enemies are chasing him. As such, they'll need a reference to the game controller. A tag already exists, so we just need to make the constant. When the alarm light turns on, we want to dim the main light. As such, we're going to need a constant for that too. When the scene starts and ends, we want to fade to and from black. To do this, we're going to use a GUI texture, and we will need to reference the script on it. Let's add a constant for the fader. A final tag that we need is for more of a subtle reason. Our game is going to have sliding doors which will open when the player goes near them. However, they should also open for enemies, so we need a tag to identify our enemies. Now that this is complete, save the script and return to the editor. At this point, we'll tidy up our scripts. In the Assets folder, you'll find the alarm light that we made using the Add Component button. When using this button, scripts are created in the root of assets. So simply drag and drop it into the Scripts folder to tidy up, and remember to do that whenever you use the Add Component button in this way. Now go to File, Save Scene, and File, Save Project. In the next assignment, we'll create the screen fader to fade in and out our level at the start and end of the game.